Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Spicy Sunflower Tarot. This is going to be a weekly reading, an energy check-in, something for this next week ahead for you. I am using the Light Seers Tarot cards, and I have an oracle deck off to the side that I will use at the end. We're going to just do a really generalized kind of one card at a time discussion, go through and see if we can pull some information for you, for your story, for your life. Remember not to make an energy reading fit, not to make any reading fit. If it's not your reading, let it be for someone else that it does apply for. Cancer can be your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. Sometimes they call rising an ascendant. If you know your birth chart, you can also check in for the various different areas of your chart. So if you know your sun, your moon, your rising, you can check in with all three of those just to give you a more accurate, more clear picture of yourself. Also, cross watchers are welcome. And a cross watcher, just somebody that likes to check in on a Cancer. So if you're here to check in on a Cancer that you have interest in or know, and you want to just kind of find out a little more about them, this will be a reading that you're welcome to be here for. I had a jumper card pull out. I'm just going to turn it face down until I get a little more energy out of these. For the sign of Cancer, we just want to check in on you and see how you're doing. Thank you for being here. The first card out is the Seven of Wands. So very boundaried, very clear and concise on what you will and will not tolerate. Very clear understanding, and it's very fiery, passionate, a lot of passion, and it's healthy. Remember, boundaries aren't walls. Sometimes there's a little bit of guilt associated with a boundary if you're coming from maybe never having put boundaries down and this is your first go at it, and you feel a little guilty, like, oh my gosh, do I draw this line in the sand? Is that good? Is that allowed? Maybe I've never done boundary setting before, and my first time out, it feels a little strange. But when you do it regularly and you realize that that is such an act of self-love, it isn't putting people out of your life. It isn't casting everyone away. It is just being very clear on the way that you can talk to me, the way that you can come into my life. I only get text messages until 9 p.m. and then I shut my phone off. That's my boundary. If you need me, if it's an absolute dire emergency, there are other ways to reach me. But I have this very clear boundary that I set to protect myself. So I feel that there is some boundary setting in your life. Either it's needed or it's been done, and you're just starting to feel the effects of your boundaries being put out there. They're not walls. They're not cutting people off or keeping people out. They're just teaching people how to treat you. Plain and simple. Very, very healthy. What else, Cancer? What else can we say and offer and give for you? We have the Eight of Cups. Because of your clear boundaries, because of your very self-protected notions and concepts now, you're walking away from what no longer serves you. You've realized that my boundary is I am no longer available. I'm giving an example. I'm no longer available to have gossip in my life. If you have something unsavory to say about someone else, you need to do it somewhere else, not around me. I will no longer be available. I'm turning my back on that type of conversation. My boundary and my back being turned is like the biggest self-love I've ever felt for the sign of Cancer. So very important that you're doing this. I am really proud of this Cancer, whoever this is so far. I'm in awe of you, actually. So putting this clear boundary out, and I gave the example about gossip, but it can be anything. It can be If you show up in my life with lies or cheating or stealing, you're out. I will turn my back on you and I will walk away from you because you know that that's my boundary, or I'm making it clear that that is, and you're still doing it. And so here, this is the result. There's a consequence for actions. And if you've made it clear the actions that you will and will not tolerate, and someone disrespects you, whenever your boundaries are crossed, I feel that that is disrespectful, and the consequence will be you will walk away from this conversation, you will walk away from the relationship, you will walk away from the job. You won't be able to stay somewhere where you feel that there's disrespect. You are reevaluating your feelings on things. You're definitely sitting in a state of, it's like a ho hum, it's kind of boredom, it's almost energetically, I'm just not feeling very revved up because maybe you had to be so clear with your boundaries. You've had to turn your back and walk away and leave what no longer serves you. But now you're kind of sitting there because the feeling I get is you've sat in unhealthy behaviors for so long that when they're no longer in your life because you've put these clear boundaries down, you almost don't know how to behave. There's a concept about I'm so comfortable in chaos and disarray that when things are calm, I almost feel bored. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm just saying that sometimes when we do get clear on things in our life and we've decided how we're going to react and respond, we're sitting there after it's all said and done, and we're left with that feeling of, wow, so this is what it feels like to be respected. This is what it feels like to have people be shocked that I meant what I said. This is what it feels like to not really understand that having these clear boundaries was so necessary, especially when I put them down and I saw the way people acted. It's quite shocking. It's quite interesting. And I don't really know, like, it's almost just, I don't know what to do with this now. So who am I? This clear, directed person, and I'm ready for it. I definitely know I needed it, but I'm reevaluating things. But I'm showing up in this King of Cups, which is Cancer. This is your water cousin, Scorpio. And this is you being this King of Cups. This is you, the utmost of self love and self respect. In this water energy, your comfort zone, it's loving, it's emotional, it's intuitive, it's psychic. It is all the feels. You're sitting in this ocean of emotion, and you've mastered the ability to be calm, cool, and collected no matter what. You've mastered your emotional realm. When you think about movies where there's kings and queens and there's royalty, and the king is the one they've mastered, whatever it is. They're standing now out on the porch of the castle, and they're surveying the land and the scene, and they're looking around, and they know that they got to where they are now because they were able to, all of these actions earlier led you to this place where now that my life is cleaned up, I've organized myself in such a fashion that people know where I stand. They know what my boundaries are. They know what I will and will not tolerate. Now I sit, I can close my eyes, I can pray, I can dream, I can be a master of my emotions. No longer will I be like a ship on the waves. I will be tossed around however people see fit. I am now in control of myself, and I will get tossed around if I feel that's appropriate. But at this moment in time, at this point, I'm very clear that I'm calm, cool, collected. What else can we give for the sign of Cancer? Cancer. Ace of Pentacles. I think a new job is coming your way. I think that you are either looking for a new opportunity to invest your professional skills, or a new job offer is coming to you. Someone is seeking you out to offer that. But this is the hand of the divine. So this is a very meant to be energy extending an offer, an opportunity to you. When they do, please know that this opportunity has roots to grow into something more. So an offer, an opportunity for something in your physical realm can be an offer, putting down an offer on a new home. It can be that job offer coming to you, or you seeking a job out by putting out your resumes and you're interviewing and you're going for it. But it's something to secure your future. What else can we tell Cancer? Two of Cups. Oh, there is so much love in your life right now, so many emotions, so much feeling, energy. You and a very special someone could be a best friend. It can be a romantic partner. It generally does involve a romantic partner, though, with Two of Cups, but it can also be a business partnership. It's just when two become one, when I and you decide that we want to join forces. We want to work together. We want to be a part of each other's future. We want to join up and get married. We want to have a family together. We want to own a home together. This new job opportunity, or this new opportunity, if it was a home, then this is where so much love is going to be grown and developed. But there's a trust. There is a loyalty. There is an emotional connection between you and someone else right now. And we have the World. With that being said, the World indicates the end of a cycle. It is you've received your graduation diploma from whatever situation you have undergone. What I love so strongly is that King of Cups and the World. King of Cups was like you, and it's the result of you loving yourself. It's the result of you being who you are and what you've grown to be. And with that, this new chapter opens for you, and it is so full of love and connection and heart space energy, and it definitely is between you and someone else, but it's a new chapter for you, Cancer. Something has ended, a painful cycle, a cycle period. It doesn't necessarily even have to be painful, but a chapter is closing and a new chapter is opening for you. The World indicates success, good job, here's your diploma, you've graduated, thank you, and now we open and start a new journey. That is very cool, Cancer. A new journey awaits. What does that look like? What can we tell Cancer as we finish up this message? The Hermit. With that being said, this new chapter, this graduation, this end of a painful cycle or end of a cycle period, we have you needing to go off by yourself, whether it is you take a sick day, you take the weekend and you get yourself into a hotel room, you pack your family and your kids, you go off and you tell your spouse that, I want you guys to go swimming. I want you guys to go play by the lake. I want you guys to go because I need today to sit with my journal, my coffee, my warm blanket. I need to just reinvent myself. The Hermit is getting back in touch with yourself, whatever that means for you. And I understand in the hustle and bustle of life, sometimes an entire day or a weekend, or if it's a family vacation and you just need a little time to yourself during that, sometimes that is a really hard thing. Just remember, you have these very clear boundaries. You've let people know what you will and will not tolerate in your life. And sometimes that means I need this. I need this time to myself. I need to hermit myself so that I can get back in touch with who I am. I can reconnect with my truest, highest, purest form of love and light so that I can be better for all of you. And the last message for the sign of Cancer, the devil. This is an awareness and an ability for you to be very careful about the physical pleasures that you allow yourself. It's one thing to have a drink at night with dinner. It's another thing when that drink becomes 3 or 4. It's one thing to engage in a little steamy novel. It's another thing when steamy novel becomes a full-on pornography addiction. It's just the physical pleasures of the flesh. Whatever it is that you turn to, if it's when I go off by myself, I have a Snickers bar. And that's part of like my hermit behavior. I go alone and I have a Snickers and I start doing my self-care. But remember, that can turn unhealthy when we reward ourselves or give ourselves those rewards or awards that are food. And now we have a full-blown food addiction. It's addictions. The devil is an awareness of our physical carnal nature. And when something that can be okay in moderation or in small doses, then we abuse it and it's an addiction. And so I'm not saying that this is in your life, but if it is, this is your time to become very aware and understand that in this new cycle, these physical overuses, over abuses, they're not going to be tolerated or allowed. This new cycle needs you to be very clear and very solid on what has you held under its grip instead of what you hold in your grip. So be very careful. The devil is just a warning for me. It isn't anything bad. It doesn't mean anything negative. It's just an awareness of what you think owns you could actually, what you think you own could actually own you. And so be very clear, especially if you go take this time off to yourself of this, when you have to look sometimes at your shadow side, not just on your great qualities. And like if you're doing a resume for a job, you're looking at all of your beautiful, wonderful talents, skills, and abilities. But then you also do, and maybe not on the resume itself, but in reality, you do have to look at yourself and understand, I do bring some not positive characteristics to the table. And maybe this is my time to refine and adjust and reassess who I am and what I bring to anybody's table. So Cancer, that is your reading. I'm going to jump over to the Oracle cards. I'm going to give you a last message in the way of an Oracle card, just for you to have as your last tidbit of information. This is coming from the Intuitive Whispers Oracle cards. So for the sign of Cancer, we have number 26, trust yourself. Number 26 adds up to the number 8. And in numerology, the number 8 is about prosperity, abundance, and manifestation. I am going to jump into the book and I'm going to read from the book so that you have the purest, truest meaning for yourself to take on your journey. We have trust yourself. Trust it. Trust is not given. It is earned. This applies to other people, but also to yourself. Do you trust that you will make the right choices for yourself? Do you trust that you will guide yourself away from trouble and onto the right path? If there is even a small doubt, let's work on earning back your whole trust. Ultimately, no one knows you better than you know yourself. So you must strengthen your internal trust to feel empowered in the world. What does trust really mean to you? Safety, truth-telling, etc. When you learn your own definition of trust, you can then begin to build on it. By trusting yourself, it is much easier to trust the world around you. How to trust yourself. Trust is a practice of truth telling. And when you turn that practice inward, it also becomes a practice of getting to know yourself better. Ask yourself these questions. Who do I trust most in the world? Why do I trust that person? How does trust make me feel? How can I trust myself more fully? Cancer, this is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time, effort, attention, energy. I do appreciate it. Thank you again for liking, following, subscribing. Any comments that you want to leave on my channel, TikTok or YouTube, I'm always grateful. Any interaction with my channel is appreciated. Thank you again. Be well. Namaste.